What is up, guys? Today we're doing the Q&A, long awaited. Finally gonna answer most of the questions. We got 32 comments on this video, so a lot more than I thought it would be. Let's get to it. Alright, this first question comes in from Texas Iron Gripster. It says, do you feel that doing fat bar implements has any carryover to grippers? I feel when I trained close to max effort on the axle and the Rolling Thunder, it hindered my gripper progress. I basically focused on grippers more than anything else. Thank you for your time and all the best to your training too, sir. Thanks. Yes, I would say 100% is carryover from fat bar to grippers, and not just fat bar, any kind of open hand grip is gonna lead to a stronger grip in general. Stronger grip in general can make sure that you have stronger crushing strength. So I would say yes, it has carryover to grippers. Now, I think what you're asking here is, how would you approach the training to do fat bar, along with grippers? I would say experiment. So see what days work best for you in terms of timing, in terms of how long do you need to rest and recover for, and also make sure that you're not doing grippers too much, because even though they are your main priority, for the most part, you don't need to do more than 2 days a week for grippers. I would say that's probably overdoing it for most people, because it's an extremely taxing feat. So with fat bar and the Rolling Thunder, pinch, that stuff you can rest relatively quickly compared to grippers. So I would say try to space out the days between your gripper sessions more, and then still try to have a little bit of time between your fat bar, axle, Rolling Thunder, pinch, anything open hand that's not gonna tax you too much. Try to have those days evenly spread out, so that way you can approach the training in a more fashionable sense, that you don't have to get injured, overtrain, any of that stuff. So the second question comes in from Restove. How do you prepare/rest to make sure that you will be at your absolute best when you go for a gripper PR, and how do you warm up for one? Great question. I warm up with these two things. These are the extensor bands from Iron Mind. I get new ones probably every 3 months or so, and you just open it up, and that's really good in general to train, which I'll get to later, but it's also really good as a warm-up, because it gets the blood pumping in your hand, nice circulation. Also, an Iron Man egg, you can do, you can use your thumb for it. You can do like crushing things, and yeah, I would say for the most part, warming up for a gripper PR would take a lot of focus on just trying to make sure that everything is solid. So I would never go for a gripper PR if I didn't feel that everything was fresh and solid, in a way that it won't be damaging if I did try to go for a gripper of that caliber. As far as how do I prepare/rest, I would say definitely good meals throughout the day, and definitely a good night's sleep. That's really important. And yeah, I mean, those are the two things. There's really not a lot you can do, because most of it is CNS based. So you either have that day where you're gonna get it, or you don't. And that's really it. That's the whole thing. It's just, you either get it or you don't, There's not a lot in between. Most of the time, when you go for a gripper PR, you wanna do it on your best day. and on that best day, you know, the little stuff adds up, but it's mainly because it's the best. Question comes in from Derek Smith. I heard you recently started arm wrestling. How did you feel your grip training has carried over to arm wrestling, and do you believe you have a bright future in the sport? I would say yes to the last one. I do think I have a good future in that sport if I ever decided to go down that route, mainly because my wrist and my hand are already pretty strong for a novice, so I would have no problem, you know, going up the ranks, at least for my weight class. And yeah, I think the grip training in general does carry over to arm wrestling quite a bit, just because anytime you have a lot of hand strength and wrist flexor strength, that's going to give you a big advantage over anyone who's trying to top roll you, or, you know, because most people, when they feel a really strong hand, they can't do much. So with just that amount of strength, you're going to limit their options. I think limiting your options is one of the best things you can, you know, it's one of the best advantages you can get in almost any sport. So definitely for that reason, yeah, especially not as much grippers, but if you do a lot of fat bar without your thumb, it's gonna, you know, if you're good at that, you're gonna be pretty good at arm wrestling because it's a lot of cupping strength. So grippers not too much, but they help when you're at the high levels for grippers. So yeah. Fourth question comes in from OPMFP. It says, hi, it is interesting to know what your results are on the Rolling Thunder, the Little Bighorn, the pinch blocks, etc. Yeah. Rolling Thunder, the Iron Mind one, the most I've gotten was 210. I tried it once, that was it. I don't own one. I have a friend who does, and when I went over to his house, it was one of the things that I tried. As far as for the Little Bighorn, I do own one. I have tried it 3 times, a total of 3 sessions with it. The most I got was on the 3rd session, that was 178. So, you know, it's not that bad, but I think I should train on it more to get the actual score that I think I'm at. And the pinch block, I haven't given the pinch blocks an actual try yet, because I didn't own one until I got the Grip Genie block. And yeah, so I'll give the pinch block a good attempt one day, because I think as far as pinch training, the only thing I've ever done was try to pinch plates, and that helps to an extent, but honestly there's such a big gap between plate pinching. I mean, it's just really difficult to progress that way. So I think I might use the pinch block to train to break that barrier, to break that plateau per se. Yeah. And as far as for other stuff, I don't know. I mean, I tried a bunch of things. I tried a vertical bar once. I got 242 on that. I tried an inch dumbbell. I cracked it off the ground first try. I tried it 3 times after that. It was the same result. That is a pretty impressive thing to fully lift, and even more impressive to clean and press, which a couple people have actually done, believe it or not. So yeah. Next one comes in from Ian. It says, what's up, Nate? When do you find you're at your strongest? After you ate, late at night, meals before, etc., etc. Yeah, so I would say definitely during the middle of the day. That is nowadays when I do the best at grippers. It used to be that I would only do my gripper attempts late at night, so around 9 to 11 o'clock before I would go to bed. I would feel the need all of a sudden to try a 3 or a 2.5 or whatever gripper I was trying to close, and you know that works to an extent. But I honestly think if you have an approach to getting around the same time, you should be more energized in the middle of the day than before you go to sleep, for sure. And as far as meals, I don't eat too heavy before I go to the gym anyways. So for the most part, if I'm gonna eat anything, it might be a banana or blueberries, something that's kind of light. It's not gonna fill me up so much. I really don't like to train on a full stomach. I don't like to train on an empty stomach either, but if I were to choose between the two, I'd definitely pick empty stomach. So for grippers, I just do it, I just go to the gym, bring the grippers with me, and yeah, not too much, just plenty of water, I would say. Stay hydrated. Like I said earlier, CNS dependent. You really need to stay hydrated. If you're dehydrated, you're not going to achieve your full strength, what you normally would if you were.